Venom, pages 6 and 7. Talking about toxins. So what exactly are these toxins? Biotoxins are substances that are created by living cells or organisms to harm or kill prey or enemies. They're mostly made up of proteins. Let me hear you guys say proteins. Proteins carry out important functions in animal bodies. They form hair, muscles, hemoglobin, part of the red blood cells, and enzymes, which are large molecules that speed up chemical reactions. They make hormones, substances that give instructions to various parts of the body. They can produce antibodies to fight infection. But proteins can also be destroyers. The proteins in various toxins, often in the form of enzymes, attack cells and tissues, disrupt communication between the nerve endings, and cause other damage. Different poisonous or venomous animals produce specific types of toxins or a combination of several kinds. Neurotoxins affect the nervous system and the brain. Hemotoxins target and destroy red blood cells. There are other toxins as well that specifically affect the heart, the muscles, the kidneys, and other vital organs. Most venom circulates through the lymphatic system. Lymph is a fluid that protects the body from germs. It moves slowly but thoroughly, and it eventually flows into the bloodstream. Besides little blood vessels called capillaries, there are lymph channels in our skin, and many toxins enter channels first. Although some kinds of venom go right into the bloodstream. Snake venom, for example, is usually circulated by the lymphatic system, but it can sometimes enter the bloodstream directly. It depends on the size of the molecules of the toxin, the length of the snake's fangs, where they bit the victim, the fang strike, and other factors. Some venoms can cause serious injury or even death by triggering a systemic whole body reaction. Other venoms cause a localized reaction. For example, bee and wasp venoms usually raise a painful lump at the location of the sting. Unless the victim is allergic to these stings, then he or she may have a systemic reaction. So some people actually are very deadly allergic to bees. This is what a bee sting can look like. And they have to have an EpiPen to make sure that they don't have a reaction. Okay, here is a rattlesnake's venom. When people get stung or bit by venomous animals, it's called envenomation. Doctors will sometimes treat the victim with antivenoms to fight the toxins. To make an antivenom, scientists extract venom from the animal, often by getting it to bite cloth stretched across a bottle or tube. Then the venom is purified, dried, and frozen. A solution, if injected into a donor mammal, which is most often a horse or a sheep. The mammal doesn't die. It produces antibodies, cells to fight off the poison. Blood is drawn from the donor, and the antibodies are extracted and then processed into the antivenom. Each venom requires a different antivenom. For some dangerous venoms, there are no known antivenoms. Fortunately, most venom is not deadly, at least not to humans. Other creatures that meet up with venomous animals are not so lucky. As for the venomous critters themselves, most are immune to their own toxins. They can't be hurt by them. Now let's travel the globe and meet some of these killers and critters and find out how they use toxins and why. Where shall we start? How about your house? Okay, so it says eggs to the rescue right here. Some people are allergic to horses and can have bad reactions to antivenom made from their antibodies. In addition, antivenom is expensive to produce. and requires drawing a lot of mammal blood, which causes discomfort to the donors. So scientists are working on other ways to produce antivenoms. In India, where snakes bite about 300,000 people every year and 10% of the victims die, biochemists are working on a unique method of making antivenom. They give young hens small doses of snake venom as they grow older. The chickens develop special protein in their blood that acts as an antidote against these toxins. These proteins are passed to their eggs and build up in the yolks. The eggs are then collected and the proteins are extracted to make antivenom. This method could turn into a much safer and a lot less expensive than extracting antivenom from horses. 50 eggs produce the same amount of antivenom as 2 pints of horse blood. Since a single hen can lay 240 eggs each year, and there are more hens available than horses, that would produce a lot of antivenom. And that would be good news for people and horses too.